So, in 2007, October 18, in Johannesburg, South Africa to be precise, one of Africa's most popular and commercially successful reggae artists passed on. I'm talking about Lucky Dube. So today on the biography, I'm bringing you a brief about the legend himself, gone but not forgotten, Lucky Dube. My name is Kelvin Afinke, and we are coming to you from our studios here in Accra, Ghana. We are accessible on www.vnationtv.com. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because that is the only place you can get to have a feel of what VNTV it's all about. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, I'll be taking you through the early life and career of Lucky Dube. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the bio, and today we're talking about a reggae legend, gone but not forgotten, Lucky Dube. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for you to get a repost of all the exciting programs we have right here on VNTV, the power of entertainment. Now let me take you through the early life and career of Lucky Dube, especially those of you who are reggae fans, of course, of Lucky Dube. So Lucky Dube was born in Imelo, formerly of the Eastern Transvaal, now of Mpumalanga, on 3rd August 1964. His parents separated before his birth and he was raised by his mother, who named him Lucky because she considered his birth fortunate after a number of failed pregnancies. Along with his two siblings, Tandy and Patrick, Lucky Dube spent much of his childhood with his grandmother, Sarah, while his mother relocated to work. In a 1999 interview, he described his grandmother as his greatest love, who multiplied many things to bring up this responsible individual that is. As a child, Dube worked as a gardener, but as he matured, realizing that he wasn't earning enough to feed his family, he began to attend school. There he joined a choir and with some friends formed his first musical ensemble called the Skyway Band. While at school, he discovered the Rastafari movement. At the age of 18, Dube joined his cousin band, the Love Brothers, playing Zulu pop music known as Mbaganga. Whilst funding his lifestyle by working for Hole and Cookie as a security guard at the car auctions in Midrand, the band signed with Till Record Company under Richard Siluma. Till was later incorporated into Gallo Record Company. Though Lucky Dube was still at school, the band recorded material in Johannesburg during his school holidays. The Restaurant album was released under the name Lucky Dube and the Super Soul. The second album was released soon afterwards, and this time Dube wrote some of the lyrics in addition to singing. It was around this same time when he began to learn English. On the release of his fifth album, Dave Saga, who became Dube's sound engineer, encouraged him to drop the Super Soul element of the name. All subsequent albums were recorded as Lucky Dube. At this time, Dube began to note fans were responding positively to some reggae songs he played during live concerts. Drawing inspirations from Jimmy Cliff and Peter Tosh, he felt the socio-political messages associated with Jamaican reggae were relevant to a South African audience in an institutionally racist society. He decided to try the new musical genre and in 1984 released the mini album Rasta Never Die. The record sold poorly, around 4,000 units, in comparison to the 30,000 units his Ibakwanga records would sell. Keen to suppress anti-apartheid activism, the apartheid regime banned the album in 1985 because of its critical lyrics, for instance in the song War and Crime. However, he was not discouraged and continued to perform the reggae tracks live and wrote and produced a second reggae album, Think About the Children, in 1985. It achieved platinum sales status and established Dube as a popular reggae artist in South Africa, in addition to attracting attention outside his homeland. Lucky Dube continued to release commercially successful albums. In 1989, he won 4 OKTV Awards for Prisoner, won another for Captured Live the following year, and yet another 2 for House of Exile the year after. His 1993 album Victims sold over 1 million copies worldwide. In 1995, he earned a worldwide recording contract with Motown. His album Trinity was the first release on Taboo Records after Motown's acquisition of the label. In 1996, he released a compilation album, Serious Reggae Business, which led to him being named the best-selling African recording artist at the World Music Awards and the International Artist of the Year at the Ghana Music Awards. Interesting. His next 3 albums each won South African Music Awards. His most recent album, Respect, earned a European release through the deal with Warner Music. Dube toured internationally, sharing stage with artists such as Sinead O'Connor, Peter Gabriel, and Sting. He appeared at the 1991 Reggae Sunsplash. Uniquely, that year was invited back on stage for a 25-minute-long encore and the 2005 Live 8 event in Johannesburg. In addition to performing music, Lucky Dube was sometimes an actor, appearing in the featuring films Voice in the Dark, Getting Lucky, and Lucky Strikes Back. Lucky Dube is considered to be especially remarkable as a dub artist due to his lack of diasporic cultural base. This was particularly due to the nature of reggae and dub being a platform for expression of displacement from their homeland. In prison, the South African artist makes the genre his own by applying themes of apartheid and internal displacement. In the song and music video, he is found disturbing the bounds of the genre by highlighting the toils of his own homeland. He was revolutionary in so far as he introduced a competing version to reggae's constant tendency of romanticizing the utopian homeland of Africa. So that's a brief about Lucky Dube, how he started, and the fact that he also featured in a couple of movies as well. And yeah, so a brief about him. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, I'll be taking you through how he passed and, of course, some of the remarkable music he released in the past couple of years. We'll be right back. Right, you welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is The Bayou, and we've been talking about Lucky Dube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is if you're just logging on, for you to get the repost of this particular Bayou on Lucky Dube. Now let me take you through the circumstances surrounding Lucky Dube's passing on in 2007, as well as some of the legacy he left behind. On October 18, 2007, Lucky Dube was killed by robbers at a Johannesburg township called Kwathema, shortly after dropping 2 of his 7 children off at their uncle's house. Lucky Dube was driving his car, which the assailants were after. Police reports suggest he was shot dead by carjackers who did not recognize him and believed that he was Nigerian. Interesting, quite a misunderstanding over there. Now, 5 men were arrested in connection with the murder. 3 were tried and found guilty on 31st March 2009. 2 of the men attempted to escape and were caught. The men were sentenced to life in prison. So currently, yeah, they're still serving jail term. That is if they are alive, because we are in 2019 now, 9 years after. Now, after his passing, or before his passing, he left tons of legacy that is still being celebrated today. That is a major reason we are bringing his bio today. Now, on 21st October 2008, Rico's Disc released a compilation album entitled Retrospective, which featured many of Dube's most influential songs as well as previously unreleased tracks in the United States. The album celebrated Dube's music and honored the contributions he made to South Africa. The Roots Reggae Library has taken steps to store digital versions of the Magage album made in the 80s. 5 of the 6 albums have been retrieved. As one of the first artists to bring African reggae to the mainstream, Lucky Dube bridged cultural gaps with the African diaspora. What Lucky Dube's music did was a process to cross-culturality and visionary possibility, and the diaspora at large tends to erase. Dube gave Africa a voice and put its culture on the global stage by joining the global reggae community. Through taking Jamaican roots music back to its roots, he reconstitutionalized the oppression and political struggles that reggae seeps itself in, bringing the basics of the diaspora back in conversation with the diaspora at large to allow for a more pan-African forum of cultural expressions. Lucky Dube's Roots Reggae brought African people to the table in terms of conversation about the black diaspora by mimicking Caribbean artists' assertions of African authority or racial utopia. Lucky Dube ultimately showed how Africans have to find their way into the conversations of the black diaspora by mimicking their assertions of African audacity. So after his passing, he has tons of legacy left, and those were some of the legacy he left. So I'm just going to be reading to you some of the discography of Lucky Dube, like as in some of his music. Now, in 1981, he did a Lengame Inge Yeti, pardon me because these are all Zulu languages. And in 1982, he did a Kudala Ngi Kushinga. In 1983, he did a Kukuwe. In 1984, he did a Aba Takati. And in 1985, he did a Ingikwe Tembe Na with a question mark. In 1987, he did a Umada Kenny. And one of his discographies, Africans, where he did Die Kapsi Dance, Cape Dance. That was in 1986. Now, some of his reggae songs include, some of his reggae EP includes Rasta Never Dies in 1984, Remember Me in 1994, Think About the Children in 1985, Slave in 1987, Together as One in 1988, Prisoner, that was a trendy one then, in 1989, Captured Life 1990, House of Exile in 1991, Victims in 1993, Trinity in 1995, Taxman in 1997, The Way It Is in 1999, Soul Taker 2001, The Other Side 2003, and Respect in 2006. Interesting. So those were Lucky Dube's discography. A lot of amazing musicians we have today in the system, especially reggae, or picking one or two from Lucky Dube's style of music and style of projecting Africa and the fact that Africans are capable of handling their own affairs. So that has been a brief about the legend himself, Lucky Dube, who is gone but indeed not forgotten. If you're just joining us, you've not totally missed. What you can do is to subscribe to our YouTube channel for you to get a repost of this particular brief bio on the legend Lucky Dube. Once again, my name is Kelvin Afnike. Follow us on our various social media handles and let's get interactive. I'll see you next time with another living or dead but not forgotten legend.